Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to Into the Core podcast with myself, Linda. So today it's just about myself. So before we start, we're going to be talking about living life to the fullest because, I'll get into it in just a few. So before we begin, welcome back and let's get into it. Into the core.
Get into it.
All good things in Africa and beyond. Into the core.
Into the core.
Into the core.
Into the core.
Into the core. All good things in Africa and beyond. So today is a little bit of an interesting one. I know I'm not interviewing somebody. Actually, the person who I was supposed to interview, for those who love telenovelas, Leonardo Garcia, who is a son of Andres Garcia, was supposed to be on the show, but he's on set and had to reschedule for a later date. But that's okay, because it's allowing me time to kind of have an intimate chat, I guess, with you. Hence me being like all like this, all intimate with you. But okay, let me be really honest. I really feel like, especially at a time like right now, I have read posts from so many people about how they're really struggling to cope. This lockdown has not been easy. It started, obviously, started last year, this pandemic, and it has taken us on a roller coaster. And because it's taken us on a roller coaster, first of all, I want to encourage you to keep trying to live life to the fullest. Basically, taking things and not taking them for granted. So allowing yourself to be. And allowing yourself to be just basically means, and I'm no psychologist, but I'm also learning to deal, So it's 1 year later since I started the podcast. And it was something that I started because I needed, I couldn't get into radio. Obviously, they were not hiring. But I really wanted to be in a space where I can also encourage myself, speak to people while encouraging others, but also encourage myself. And that's my honesty. I'm giving you my honesty today, because in order for us to live life to the fullest, we have to be very honest with ourselves. We have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Last year, I can tell you, if I'm going to be, again, honest even with myself, I struggled so much. But the only glimpse of hope that I had was every Thursday when I was doing my podcast. It gave me a reason to get out of bed. It gave me a reason to be like, oh, I'm talking to this person. But even through that, even throughout the week, it was struggles, like serious struggles to get out of bed, to open the curtains, to dance with my son, to do whatever. I'm getting emotional now. So I know it is not easy, but it is definitely something. Let me get myself together. It's definitely something of encouragement, because I have been at the bottom of it, but I am working through it and trying to, right? So that's most important. Let me put my hat down. Because it's really important to have people by your side who will encourage you at all times, who will allow you to be yourself. And to be yourself means not to give up. To be yourself also, just, again, you have to be vulnerable with yourself, right? Okay, enough with the shedding of tears. Rita, get it together. Come on. So, living life to the fullest, in order for us to be that, we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Here I am, being all vulnerable, emotions on my sleeve, but also just being honest with ourselves. Being honest with yourself is probably the most important part of it. And it's really sad when when you're being honest and people say, put a brave face on, don't worry, you'll get over it. Don't worry, you'll work yourself into it. Well, that's not encouraging. And those are people for me who I have steered clear away from, people who say, put your big panties on, because putting your big panties on doesn't mean that you're weak. Let's really talk about that. You are not weak if, you are trying to be honest about where you are. And remember, mental health is such a state of mind that we need to encourage each other. All right. So let me give you one thing about when you're not being honest with yourself. The truth is that you shift blame. I know I did. I was just like, me, I'm not having too much wine. Me, never. Come on. They are sponsors. I was drinking. Yeah, I was drinking. But now I'm just very honest about my sips of wine. They're just more, they come with more honesty. So that's the other thing. So I was shifting blame. And in order for me to be in a better space, which I feel like 2021 has been such a better space, but I also feel that because when my dad passed on, I also had to be very honest with how I was feeling, and not trying to go overboard with the things that I was doing. So that made me kind of say, okay, wait a minute. Let's deal with the things that you're dealing with, and come to terms in order to be a healthier, better version of you. Of course, I've got a little one here who is looking up to me. But again, I'm under this whole scope of mind where people say, fake it until you make it. Don't do that. That ain't right. Do not do it. Do not fake it till you make it, because it just allows yourself to be more dishonest with yourself. And you've got nothing to be fake about. You've got every reason and every purpose in life to be honest to yourself, to allow yourself to grow, to see what that growth is. All right, so I'm going to read for you something from Dr. Seuss. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. It is so important to keep that in your heart. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter do not mind about anything, and I say anything that you will say to them. So in order to be a fulfilled, or to try and get yourself into that positive space, try and be honest with yourself. Listen, somebody who has a person to fall back on, or people to fall back on, and sometimes, people, that's a lot. A person for me, or a few for me, is always recommended, right? Because they're the ones who just give you undivided. If you're used to having yes all the time, kindly get yourself away from those people, because the yesers are not the right people to be around. Because then you really don't see the things that are that are stopping you from being even a better version of you. Anyway, that's just my thought. And remember, these are my thoughts. I'm just trying to put a little bit of encouragement. I've read a lot of posts. I've spoken to maybe 3 people in this past week who are really struggling and not doing well. But my encouragement is to make sure that you have somebody who you can actually turn to and who you can actually be with. So don't give up. Keep trying. I understand our economy is not as great. I tell you that for sure. But that's okay. Let the doors shut, let them close, because then at the end of it, the right door will open. And that's the encouraging part, because those doors are closing because they just really weren't meant for you. But they're closing because, the right one is somewhere else. And also, people need to walk away from this whole thing that depression is a disease, and well, that it's weak for you to be or to go through depression, because it's not a sign of weakness. Sadness is not a sign of weakness. It's just that you need to speak to somebody to say what you're going through, so that you can get into the right mental state of mind. It is so important. So do not remain silent. Kindly do not speak to somebody if you're going through something. I know things are really rough, but keep talking to people. So do not remain silent. Speak up, be heard, and you know what? It'll all pan out. And keep prayers up. God is always number one. I always, well, a lot of people take that and say, oh yeah, you gotta think about God, but God is always the one who gets us through whatever we need to get through. So keep trying, and make sure that you have great people you surround yourself with. Be it your partner, speak to your partner, be it your boyfriend, whoever it is, just keep talking. All right. I want you to live your best life. Do not give up. Here we are 1 year later, still getting into it, still trying to talk to people. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But like today, I guess my thing was, when I woke up, I was like, God damn it. What do you mean you've canceled on me? But that's all right. That's okay. I could still speak to you. So thank you for listening in. I really appreciate it. Right. Hi, Jerry. I see you, boo. And we haven't spoken, so I'm going to call you right after this, because we need to talk, woman. All right. Sending you guys all some serious love and just encouragement. Again, talk to somebody. Do not remain silent. Depression can be dealt with, but you got to speak up. You got to have your words, get it out. Don't sit with it. Don't bottle it in, because when you bottle it in, it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. And then it's a whole domino effect, and you don't even want that. So yeah, encouraging you to just try and look at the positives more than the negatives. Try and look at your family with a different scope. Wake up in the morning, make your own bed, listen to some great music that you love. I love my Bobby Brown. So do what you got to do. I'm also going to try and hit the gym at some point, God knows when, but maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow would be a good day to start. So yeah. So there's always tomorrow. Sending you love. Mwah, 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 mwah. And I will see you next week. And hopefully my guest will be ready. Actually, I have to bump him to a little bit later, because I already have a guest for next week. But okay, so we'll see you soon. And yeah, words of encouragement. If you want to post words of encouragement, make sure you just post them down below. Remember to share with your friends. Subscribe, like, and I'm definitely not an influencer. Somebody said, are you an influencer? No, I'm not an influencer. I'm just Linda. I just like talking to people. Me too. Sending love. See you guys. Bye.